Deep in the desert, at a tumble-down pyramid, Robert Bauval ponders the greatest question of all. This is where the ancient Egyptians left their Book of the Dead. It explains the pharaoh's philosophy.
Although this pyramid may have seemed insignificant from the outside, inside here it's absolutely fantastic. Here is the key to understand the mystery of the pyramids, because they tell us of the mysterious star religion of the pharaohs. If you want to understand a cathedral, you of course read the Bible. So if you want to understand the pyramids, you must read these, the pyramid text, the oldest religious writing in the world. And they repeatedly tell us how the king becomes a star to join his father Osiris in the sky. And Osiris is the constellation of Orion. So here, for example, we are told that the pharaoh is a dweller in the constellation of Orion. And in this passage here, we are told that the pharaoh is taken in the constellation of Orion. And repeatedly, over and over again, we are told that the king becomes a star. The king becomes a star and joins his father Osiris in the sky, in the special region of the sky where the constellation of Osiris is.
This interpretation of the Book of the Dead says the pyramids are places of the night. In the pharaoh's burial chamber in the Great Pyramid, Bauval finds confirmation. Tiny details point to the pyramid's purpose.
The most mysterious structures are these shafts. In each chamber are two shafts, one in the north wall and one in the south wall. Now, although you see just a small opening, these shafts are extremely difficult to build. They're built within the core of the masonry at an incline. Now, this to an engineer, it's a nightmare, because you have to not only cut each block and dress it properly, but the whole surrounding structure must be adapted. Each course of the masonry must be kept perfectly dressed so to fit the profile of the shaft. Originally, it was thought that these shafts were air shafts, because when the shafts in the king's chamber were opened, they let air in. If they just wanted ventilation, it would have been much easier to have them horizontal, whereas clearly the architects went to a lot of trouble to build them. They must have a very, very important purpose.
Only this robot camera could penetrate the shafts. German inventor Rudolf Gantenbrink calls it Upuaut, ancient Egyptian for opener of the ways. The robot was designed to be able to change its shape. It would need maximum contact with the shaft's sides to propel itself over the unexplored terrain.
There are 4 shafts inside the Great Pyramid, 2 upper shafts and 2 lower shafts. Everybody told me the lower shafts, they will just go on for maybe 2 meters or 8 meters and then they will stop. And I did never believe this. I said, we have the technology to find this out, so let's do it. Let's make a robot, let's go inside there and then we know better.
From Gantenbrink's headquarters in the Great Pyramid, the robot set off into the unknown. It sent back pictures of its voyage.
The first part of the shaft is horizontally for 2 meters, and then it goes up. So just by looking with your eyes, you don't see what is coming there. We could see for the first time images that have not been seen for 4,000 years, and this was the most exciting point.
Upuaut explored all 4 shafts in the Great Pyramid. From the data, Robert Bauval calculated the shafts would have pointed at particular constellations. He found that one of them was directly aligned with Orion's belt and could have launched the pharaoh's soul towards the stars. Bauval goes even further. He believes the pyramid's grand design pays homage to the heavens.
For years now, I've been trying to understand the strange layout of the three great pyramids of Giza. Now, the first two larger pyramids were in perfect alignment. And yet what was strange is that the third pyramid was not only much smaller, but was offset from this line. Now, with all this precision, all this planning precision, why was that? I was totally baffled, and yet I was sure it had something to do with the stars. Finally, on a night out in the desert, I was sitting with a friend, a yachtsman, and he was trying to explain to me how to find the rising point of the brightest star in the sky, the Dog Star series. And he pointed at the three stars in the belt of Orion. And he said, if you follow the line all the way down to the horizon, you will get the rising point of the star series. And then, as if in an afterthought, he said, actually, if you look carefully, the three stars of Orion's belt are not quite in a row. The top star is much dimmer and is offset. And suddenly I realized that this was the answer I was looking for to explain the mysterious layout of the three pyramids of Giza. The whole thing fitted perfectly together. The Great Pyramid had the shaft as a launching pad for the soul of the dead king to Orion's belt. The three pyramids were a perfect representation of the three stars in Orion's belt. The Egyptians had made the cosmic link between heaven and earth.
That wonderful old saying, man fears time, but time fears the pyramids, simply isn't true. The pyramids are a mere 5,000 years old, and that's barely 1/1,000,000th of the world's age. Time has worn whole mountain ranges down to dust. I'm sure that in another 5,000 years, the pyramids will still be there, but they'll be showing their age. Perhaps they'll look like this virtual reality image generated in my computer. Here they are, being overwhelmed by the forests of the late greenhouse era. And a few million years after that, if there are still any archaeologists around, some of them may argue that the pyramids never even existed.
And there's more from Arthur C. Clarke in just a moment when he attempts to unravel the true story behind the Skull of Doom.